What's up, guys? Back at the desk. It is a snowy Sunday afternoon and I really wanted to go downtown and shoot, and I'm still going to, don't get me wrong. But today I just didn't want to die in pursuit of the next YouTube video. So I thought, yeah, it might be a good idea if I just stay here and teach you guys something fun that you can mess around with over the next couple days, whatever. Those are my thoughts. So this is kind of like a vlog, it's kind of like a vlog tutorial, like I'm just hanging out. We're just hanging out and having a good Sunday afternoon. Might be Monday by the time you guys see this, but yeah, who's counting? I am, obviously. Okay, so I think what I want to do for this video today is teach you guys how I do time lapses. And wow, it is really snowing out there. Literally every single person is on the street shoveling their driveway except for me. Because I got better things to do. We got videos to make, people. Come on, priorities. Why at all use a time lapse? I just like them because they look dope. They're great little pieces to put into a travel video if you're making it. If you went on a vacation, it was an incredible sunset and you wanted to show that in, you know, the end of your video or whatever. I'm gonna show you how I do it. Now, it's not the best way, it's not the only way, so for everyone that's gonna comment and go, you know, you could just use, I know, there's 1,000 ways to do the same thing. Okay, this is just how I do it. And this is the reason I use images. I use still images for my time lapse instead of actually just recording video with the time lapse. Here's 2 examples. Take a look at this footage right here. This footage is shot downtown at my friend's apartment, and I shot it at night, mind you, okay? But it was on a tripod, everything was set perfectly, it was weighted down. I took every precaution to make it look as cool as I could. Now, all I did for this one was just roll video. I just rolled the video for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then when I got it back into post, I sped it up to like 2,000%, and now you have a time lapse. But it just doesn't look, there isn't that like 3D depth detail to it that I want, opposed to a time lapse like this. Look at this one. This was done earlier in the day. You guys saw this in the last vlog called Private Flight in the City. This time lapse looks way better. Now, why does it look way better? Because I used still images to thread this one together versus just letting the camera roll for 30 minutes. Now, letting the camera roll for 30 minutes is the easy and fast and quick and dirty way to do it. And have I done that? Absolutely. Sometimes that's all you have time for and you just want to get it done. You don't have the hard drive space, or you just don't give a shit. So you just roll camera. Smartphones now have time-lapse modes built into them, like the iPhone just does a time-lapse and then it gives you the finished sped up file and you're kind of stuck with that. But still images is the way to go. You're gonna set up your camera on a tripod, make sure it's on a tripod because you don't want it to move, you don't want it to blow in the wind or move when someone walks by it, okay? Weigh it down if you have to. And then you need to use an intervalometer. This is the Canon version, which is highly overpriced. I bought it way back when I worked at a camera shop, so I got it on like staff discount for way less. You probably don't need to buy the Canon model just because it's silly how much money they charge for it. I'll drop a link to the time-lapse remote that does the exact same thing for way less. Buy it on Amazon, I'll link it below. You plug it in and what it does is overrides the camera so that you can take a picture every 3 seconds without anything happening. Every 5 seconds, every 6, 7, 8, you decide the interval of how many photos you want taken per second. Now the reason you want to do that is because do you want it every 30 seconds so that you don't have as many files, or do you want it every 2 seconds that you capture the most amount of detail? So for that time lapse that you see right here during the day, I did a photo every 3 seconds. Now I had this out on their balcony. It was the evening, it was getting really cold outside. I only had 1 battery in my camera. By the time I got back from flying and dinner, my camera was dead. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna let it go from day to night, or you want that day to night transition, or day to night, back to day, you're gonna need lots of batteries, you're gonna need lots of memory card space, and you're gonna be, you gotta stick around because you don't wanna come back and just see that it's died like I did. I was super bummed out and I don't even want to talk about it. If we could just stop, I would. Once you have all those files, you're gonna bring them into the computer, okay? So check this out. A little time-lapse folder here. Boom. These are all the images from that time-lapse. Now that time-lapse was only like 7 seconds and I have like 1,300 images here from that time-lapse, and they're big images. Like if we Command I this, it's 5 megabytes a picture, 5760 by 3840, right? So that's like a 5.7K file if we were to leave this full size. But we're not gonna do that because I don't need it to be that high res, okay? This is the internet and I mean, it's dope, it's badass, don't get me wrong, but it's a little overkill. So check this out. So these are the photos, and you can see, you can go through them. You can arrow through them, and you can see that not much is moving. The next step is editing this. Now, when you color grade your footage, I use Premiere Pro. There's other apps I use as well, but I'm gonna do a second video on color grading. What I like about using images for time-lapse is that you can edit that photo in Lightroom, get it how you want, sync that edit across all your photos, and now you've got a beautifully edited image synced across your entire time-lapse that you're gonna bring into Premiere, and then boom, it's done. You've got this insane looking, super high detail, ridiculous time-lapse. It's money is what it is. Open up Lightroom. 1 week later. Import, desktop, time-lapse, images. Yep, it's a lot of images. Once you have them all selected, click import, and then you wait. Go crack a beer, or ginger beer. Or don't crack anything. We crack your knuckles. While we wait for this to import, I'll solve the Rubik's Cube. Done. So is this. Once it has imported all of your photos, go up here to the develop module and boom, here we have our entire set of photos. So first things first, just go through and start tweaking it however you want your end time-lapse to look. There you go. That looks so much better. Quick little tip, fun fact if you will, right below your delete key, the slash, if you hit the slash, it shows you the before, and if you hit it again, it shows you the after, so you can cycle back and forth between that. It's so much fun. I will probably sit here doing this for the next 5 minutes, just. Now that you've done that, this is what we're gonna do. And this is what I mean by syncing your edit across your entire set of photos. Okay, you're gonna select the very first frame and then you're gonna scroll all the way to the end. Now look at all of these. So many photos. All the way to the end, hold down Shift, click the very last photo, then down here at the bottom of the screen where my mouse is circling right now, you're gonna hit sync. And you're just gonna hit synchronize, and it's gonna take every edit that you just made on that very first photo, and it's gonna apply the exact same presets to every single photo in your set. If your time-lapse transitions through a sunset into the evening and the light gets softer and then the lights start coming on and then it gets dark and it's nighttime, you might not want to sync that same edit across your entire set because your photos change so much. You might wanna sync it across the first 500 and then sync a different edit that kind of helps, you know, tweak the photo as it transitions through sunset into nighttime, and then you sync that, okay? So that makes sense. Because my battery died before I could get to nighttime on this time lapse, which I'm still salty about that. My wife says I'm too old to use the term salty. So now that we've done that, we cycle all the way back through the beginning, hit Command A, it selects all of them, File, Export, and we can export to time-lapse, and let's make a new folder and call them Sunday Sync, yo. Create. And then we're gonna choose, that's where we wanna drop them all off, and we're going to export all of them. And at this point we go crack more knuckles. Might take a while because, you know, you're exporting 1,300 separately edited shots, okay? So it's probably gonna take 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your computer speed. Okay, after you export all your photos out of Lightroom, you're gonna open up Premiere and we're gonna do the rest, the stitching to actually create the time lapse in here. And create a new project. We're gonna call this Time Lapse Like a Beast. Okay, first let's take a look at all the files that we just exported from Lightroom. Time-lapse, Sunday sync. Here we go. They are all in sequence, in a numbered order, right? So they all ascend from 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up. They all go in order. If you just hit File, Import, select the very first image of all of your images and make sure image sequence is checked. If it's not checked, you'll be able to highlight them all and bring them all in individually, but that's not what we want. Make sure image sequence is checked. Just click the first photo and hit import. And what that's gonna do is drag the whole thing in as, you can see here, one file. Okay, when you've dropped that clip into your timeline, as you can see, it is just one file instead of having 1,300 separate frames. I wanna add a little bit more movement to this time lapse so that it starts punched in a little bit and by the end, it zooms out. So we got the movement of everything happening in the time lapse plus the movement that we're gonna keyframe into this sequence. Let's start off by trimming the front of this clip just since my tripod, I was setting it up so it's like a little bit at the beginning. What we're going to do is click on this and we're gonna zoom in on that image. We're gonna go into like 135%. And then we are going to click on scale, the little stopwatch that says scale up here in the corner. That's gonna set a keyframe at the very beginning, first frame of this clip, zoomed in at 135. When we bring our playhead all the way to the end, to the very last frame here, we are going to change that scale back to 100, and that's gonna automatically set another keyframe at 100. So by the time that video starts and gets to the end, it's gone from 135% down, 120, 110, and it's zoomed itself out to 100, which is the actual full size of the frame. So the last thing is we just need to speed this up a little bit because it does take, let's see, if we put this at the very beginning, this time lapse is over 42 seconds long to finish, and we want it to be like 5 to 10 seconds to really capture someone's attention straight off. So click on the clip in your timeline, hit Command J, and that's gonna open up your speed duration. And let's start by changing it to 1500, seeing how that does. So now that is 2 seconds, probably way too fast. Still looks pretty good, but for me, a little bit too fast. We're gonna Command Z, which undoes that, Command Z, Z, depending where you live. Hit Command J again, and let's go with 900. Now 900 brings that to about almost 5 seconds, so if we play that back, let's take a look. That looks pretty good. Hit I to make your in point on the first frame, then you're gonna drag this playhead to the last frame, you're gonna hit O, makes your out point, go up here to File, Export Media, boom, that opens up this dialog box here. Now if you're gonna upload this to YouTube, you're gonna click where it says preset up top, you're gonna scroll to the very bottom and hit YouTube 1080p HD. But because these files are huge, you could also export that at 4K. But we're just gonna go 1080p here because I don't need it to be overkill. But that's essentially it. Now you have a finished time lapse that if you export it like we just did, then you can bring that back into another project and actually use it as just a regular clip as part of a project. So I hope all that made sense. It's actually pretty easy when you think about it. And there you have our finished time lapse, which you can now use to drop into any project in the future, save that file, and you're good to go. So that's it, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed our little Sunday afternoon session, vlog, tutorial, something, whatever this is. Hope you guys had fun. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video because I actually have some great stuff planned. It's just this freaking snow needs to stop so I can actually go do it. See you next time.